This time I installed this smart water tap with a solar panel to power it so that I can get this into Home Assistant. Alright, so here's the plan. The lovely company, Zemismart, which I believe is a Chinese company, they have this website with tons of stuff on it. They contacted me, as happens on YouTube, and said, can we send you a thing? And I chose this, and I appreciate this. You know, I don't always do this, but they don't pay me anything to do this review. They just send a thing and say, hey, could you include it? So I do. But anyway, the plan is, I'll take the solar panel, which is a 5-watt solar panel. I'm going to put it on top of this old crusty fence here, which is next to the pool. And then this is then going to charge a battery, which is in here, inside this thing, which has a display on it. I'll show that later. Has a wire on here, and that is connected to this extension cord, which just connects in there. And then that is connected to this Wi-Fi timer control by phone smart thing. So this is a tap. So water tap is going to go on here somehow, probably after this filter, because we have farm water, so it's full of gunk, really. And then I can control this via Home Assistant through Tuya. That's the plan. That's why I chose this, because I haven't done anything really with outside gardening, watering, irrigation type things. And this particular hose that goes through here, you can see it goes over there that way, goes to a soaker hose on for a bunch of flowers behind here, and we turn it on every night in summer, which it is now. So that's the idea. We're going to attach this to here, connect it all up with the solar panel and put it on top of the fence, and that's it. Now the key to this, I looked at this before, is that this particular unit, it all comes in one sort of neat package. So the solar panel is attached to the battery, the mechanism. But the key to this, as far as I'm aware, is that these solenoids that sits in here that turns these things requires a fair amount of current, of amps, to turn. And this particular one does 10 amps, 10,400 milliamps, I know. So that's the key. And then it's all done through the solar panel. So hopefully that's gonna work. But let's install it first on this fence here, and then we'll try and adopt it through the mobile app into Tuya, into Home Assistant. Alright, so that's all hooked up, and obviously I decided to go and get a dual splitter thing here. I also need a different size fitting because they're always different. But now it's on. There might be a leak here, I'm guessing. I might have to use a bit of Teflon tape, but for now it's on. There's also some cable management to do. All the boring stuff. But now it's hooked in. Now let's try and see if I can connect it to Tuya. That's sort of the whole idea. All right, so I'm in Tuya now. So what I'm supposed to be able to do is, I'm gonna sit down because this might take a while, is that I'm turning this on. So I'll do that up here, and I'll show you that as well. There's a button on the back here. So that was out of shot, but anyway, I'll show you that in just a second. And then I can turn this on here on the button. Oh, we should probably connect this as well. Might be a good idea. What do you reckon? Yeah. There we go. Small detail. Anyway, there's water going into it now. So on the side here, there's a QR code that I'm supposed to scan. So I'm going to add one here. I'm going to scan a device, and here's the QR code on the side. There you go. Wi-Fi control. Alright, so now we're going to make sure it's blinking. It's not blinking. But let's... I think that's all I have to do. Otherwise I have to go and look at the manual. Oh. Do I hold it? Oh, there we go. Hold it in. Now it's blinking. Alright, let's just do that again. I will say this is blinking quickly. So power on device connecting. All right, yep. See if it finds it. Oh, now there's no light on it. Oh no, there we go. Wi-Fi control, and it has a tap thing. Cool, that worked. So now if I click done, let's see what I get. What systems do I get in Tuya? So hopefully Tuya, I can get all this into Home Assistant. That's the plan. All right, I have Wi-Fi control. So let's see if I can power it on. I heard click. Yep, there's a little green light here that says working light. So that's good. So now it's on. I can do a timer. Yeah, schedule, or I can count down. Oh, how long I want it on for. Okay, so those seems to be the three things I can do. I can turn it on and off, I can put a timer on it, so I schedule, or I can put a countdown, so I'll say how many minutes and then make it stop. So let's see what comes into Home Assistant from Tuya. But for now, this seems to work. I'll turn it off. Yep, stop sprinkling. Very good. All right. Let's look at Home Assistant. All right, let's see what shows up in Home Assistant, because with Tuya, once I've got it in my account, my Tuya account, it just shows up usually in Home Assistant. So let's have a look here. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to my entities. And I'm going to search for, because Wi-Fi is what it called it. Yeah, Wi-Fi control socket. Not a very good name. So first thing I think, let's give it a name. I'm going to call this tap escarpment. Oops. Because it's sort of a little hill, we call it the escarpment. Anyway, and I'll see if I can actually find one here. This is a tap. That's sort of what it is. Water pump. And let's go with faucet. That looks good. Show as outlet. No, it's a switch, actually. So we're going to show it as a switch. And entity ID, I'm going to call this tap escarpment. Because, well, I want it to update it. I want that to be the entity ID. So update that. And now, of course, it doesn't find it. So if we now type tap, there it is. Tap escarpment. All right, let's have a look at what we got. So that's now renamed it. Really good idea to do this, otherwise it becomes such a mess. And I'm going to call all the taps I'm doing tap something. Yeah. Okay, info. What have we got? So pretty simple, because it is just a switch in terms of Home Assistant. It's got a solenoid in it that opens up the water or closes it. That's it. So there's just a switch. There's just a button here that you can actually, use as a switch. That's it. There's a history here. You can see it's, afternoon here. And that's about it. So that's it. So first thing, I'm going to create a new dashboard, or a new tab actually. That's going to be gardening. So I'm going to have one here. I'm going to add one. And I'm going to call this garden. And I'll see if I can find, let's do a flower icon. Isn't that lovely? There you go. Perfect. Just so we have something to put it on. And I'm just going to move it over next to the water. Well, to the weather, rather. There we go. Like that. Perfect. Alright, we're going to add a card, because for now we only have one thing, but I'm going to have a lot more gardening stuff is the plan. So I'm going to click on entities, and I'm not going to have open weather map, but thank you. I'm going to just have my tap. There it is. Tap escarpment. And that's it. So for now, that's what it's going to be. Save that, and done. So now we've got another tab on the dashboard. Now the really cool thing, of course, is automation. Right, so I'm going to create an automation with Node-RED. And if you haven't used Node-RED, I created a video on that. That's linked up there. And you can check that out for a lot more about what Node-RED is and how you use it. But I'm going to create an automation in Node-RED. I'm going to add another tab here. I'm going to call this garden, because there's going to be more garden stuff here, I suspect. Done. And then I'm going to set up a timer. So I want this to run sort of from sundown to, say, midnight, right? And that's going to be the simple automation for now. I'll talk a little bit more about what else we can do. But there's a timer down here. There's actually a bunch of timers. But this one I'm using is called Big Timer. Right, I'm going to use Big Timer. The reason it's called Big Timer is, as you'll see now, there's a ton of options. You can set all sorts of timers based on days, months, special dates like Christmas, leap years, all that sort of stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do with it. I'm just going to keep it simple, but I do like the idea of using the big timer. So this is going to be escarpment, if I can spell it, tap, schedule, spelling's hard. And you can see there's already is two timers here, on time, dusk till quarter to midnight. That's actually all right in summer because it gets dark relatively late. I could change this to say, 9 or 10 o'clock. Actually, I might, it doesn't really matter. Dusk, 10 o'clock, what do you reckon? Let's put 10. And then it's on for a couple of hours, soaking that part of the garden at night when there's no sun on it, and everybody's happy. You can see the rest of it here is you can have a whole bunch. You could even trigger it based on an MQTT queue message, so that would be kind of cool. I'm not using this. That's my timer. Then the output from this, the timer is going to be 0, 1. So 0, the timer's off, 1, the timer's on, as in it's within schedule. So I'm going to use a switch. Good thing I can just type. Switch, there we go. I'm going to use that. And we're going to see is schedule on off. And then we're going to have, well, when it's equal, so I know it's 0, 1. So when the number is 0, right, then it's going to be state 1. That's just a number it gives it. Doesn't really matter what that is. That's just so we can identify the output. Or if it's 1, which means that the schedule is on and we want to turn the tap on, then we have another here, which is 2. And you can see here the little dots on the switch task here. There'll now be 2 dots. Bloop. There we go. So 1 is... so 0 or 1, right? So off, on. And of course, there's 3 here as well, 3. So the first one's one-off messages. We're not going to use that. In this case, we're going to just check it every minute. So every minute it'll tell you whether the schedule's on or off. And we can use that output. That's what gives us the 0 or 1. And then the final thing, of course, is to, well, actually turn the tap on or off. And I'm going to use 2 calls to service, which will be turn tap off, and the domain of this is a switch because it's a switch essentially, and we're going to turn that off. And the entity is going to be our tap escarpment. There we go, and that's it. Just turn that on, turn that off rather. And then of course we can, let's link that up. We need a second one, which will be almost the same. We'll call this turn tap on, and again it'll be a switch, and the service is going to be turn on, and the entity is going to be our tap, like so, and then link it, and then just deploy it to make sure it's saved and is now active. And see, whoop, boom, there it already goes. So it's going to turn on in 7 hours and 47 minutes. That's what that says. And it says no connection. For some reason it does this. I just tested it before, and every time, the first time it runs, it goes call service attempted without connection to server, and I'm not sure why. But as soon as it runs, it should be fine. So there's my automation. Now, what ideally I would like to do, and let me know in the comments if you know how to do this, is use weather forecasting, right? So there's 2 scenarios I'd like to use. One is it going to rain? So I have a forecast service, which gives me 7 days forecast. I can probably set up a script that says, is this status going to be raining, right? Or I can maybe use another third party that's going to say, hey, is it going to be precipitation? Is it going to rain? And the second thing I'd like to do down the track is have a moisture sensor that I can actually put in the ground. So the ground will tell me whether it needs watering or not, right? And then trigger it based on that, but also a schedule. So those are the plans. That's why I want to set this up. I want to automate this watering, but do it in a considerate manner, so that, because we live in the middle of nowhere, we don't have much water. And you can just see it just changed, right? Switch turn off was called. Now the only downside with this very simple automation now is that I can't go down and actually turn it on, or with the Tuya app, I can't turn the switch on. It'll turn off in a minute's time because it checks every minute. So that's a thing. I still haven't figured out how to do that, but anyway, I have the same problem with my lights that are automated through Node-RED. But if you have an idea of what that is, also let me know in the comments. So I hope this was helpful. I like the system because it doesn't require me to have a power source. It's with a solar panel. We got plenty of sun here, and it's simple. It's just a switch on off. It doesn't do anything, and I can use that on off to do all sorts of automations. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, as always, if you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time for more, well, I don't know, something techie.